Tape is rolling. UMP Yearbook tape, The Organic Experience, take 4 for June 19, 1970. In 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
University General, the Student Union, pronounce it.
The war, we're sending 60,000 more to help save Vietnam and Vietnam.
I just figured I'd put a plug in for Teb.
And I just have one more thing to say.
I would like to present you with a key to the fabulous Muskogee, Oklahoma.
And the people all dig it, and even the kids dig it. And it's a great scene, and even the dogs dig it. And the whole sky digs it, and infinity.
First award is the Great Northern Paper Company for advertising the opening of a $10 million pollution control plant. And shortly thereafter, having the nerve to apply for permission to increase the solid waste material load in the building. Great Northern was Doug's Unmitigated Gall Award. Wondering if it was just bad timing, or if he really thought that a public relations smokescreen could hide pollution. Is there anyone in the audience to accept this award? If there isn't, we will send it to the company in Rhode Island.
The symbol in the green field there, called theta, that stands for death. The stripes, the green and the white stripes, stand for pure water and clean land, something.
When I can no longer find Coke bottles on my lawn, when we no longer see beer cans in the UMP parking lot, people. That's what this whole damn thing is about. There are just too many people on the face of the earth.
So I think we have to answer questions for ourselves. We have to decide whether walking 5 blocks to the store may not really make for a more pleasant life and a longer life in terms of exercise and getting in the car and riding with its attendant pollution. I think that very shortly we're going to have 3 kinds of waste baskets in the house instead of 1. I think we're going to have to segregate paper.
green light around the town. I found a penny on the ground. I met a friend I never knowed, walking down old rocky road. Red, green, old rocky road. Tell me, what do you see? Tell me inside out, tell me upside down, all around the block, all around the town. Red, green, or rocky road, tell me, what do you see?
April 24th, 1969. Oregon, Western Oregon. Incense under Horse Heaven Hills. Empty logger trucks speed back along Lake Wallula's flatness shimmering under hat rocks painted with white high school signs. Chemical smoke boils off aluminum giant machine squares under aluminum bright cloud roof. Smog assembling over railroad cars, parked resting on their rails. Factory looming vaster than Johnson Butte. Look at that shit. Smell it. Got about 30 smokestacks going. Polluting Wallula. Boise Cascade Container Corporation. The package is the product, onomatopoetized McLuhan in 67. Wall Street Journal, April 22, full-page ad, proclaimed, Maine, we got the trees. We got the land beneath. We gotta invent more forms for cardboard country. We'll dig under trees for genius spirit, God-stuffed gold root for sale on Wall Street. Give us your money. Order our cardboard wastebasket. We just invented throwaway planets. Trees crash in heaven. Sulfurous urine pours through Boise, Chevron, and Brea waste pipes, where snakes and Wallula ripple shining, where Sacagawea led white men under blue sky void onto vast, clean water roads toward mountains of juicy telepathic pine trees, and open thalassa, green salt waves washing mountains of rock, Pacific. Sirhan lived. To hear his jury say, we now fix the penalty at death. Green salt waves washing Wall Street. Rain on gray sage by the Standard Oil junction at Eltopia. Static at Mesa. Yodeling the ancient Prajna Paramita. Gyate, gyate, para sam gyate. Fuji Sawaka, way down yonder in the bayou country, in dear old Louisiana. Hank Williams chanting the country nature, electric wires running along the hill horizon. The car rises up, rolling brown clouds, wheat fields. Wallula polluted, Wallula polluted, Wallula polluted. The alarm bell rang throughout the newspapers. For most large-scale gambling enterprises, rang the alarm bell through the electronic media. To continue over any extended period of time, the cooperation of corrupt police or local officials is necessary. Page 1, the AP, Oregonian today, quote, mapping a $61 million war against organized crime, President Nixon suggested, unquote. Even Jesus Christ. Actually, I dig that you were here and here, but given that, I was trying to give an example of like spontaneous improvisation, fitting in with the imagery, but because you interrupted to applaud, I wasn't allowed to do my thing, which was the rhythmic improvisation along with the bell. See, I had to halt my thing, so it isn't necessary to interrupt to applaud at the end, grooving. What I'm trying to do is demonstrate a rhythmical process going on in the head, and when I have to stop, it's like, Wallula polluted, Wallula polluted, Wallula. No, well, I gotta get the third Wallula polluted out, so. Otherwise the rhythm is lost. So, organized crime, President Nixon suggested, ... unquote. Even Jesus Christ couldn't save me. Sirhan shed no tears. His face was ashen. AP, America's heart broken. Chessman, Vietnam, Sirhan. 52% of the people thought the war always had been a mistake by April 1969. Israel and Egypt ceasefire repudiated. Muhammad, spokesman. May Day parade canceled for Prague, says police radio to the old king of May far away. SDS chanting through consciousness megaphones in every university. By now, the Beatles and Beach Boys had entered the sublime. Through acid, the Christ of the Kali Yuga, through transcendental meditation, chanting Hare Krishna, climbing Eiffel Tower, Apollinaire and Mirabai headless together with Kabir transmitted over apocalyptic radios, their voice vibrations roaring through 1 million loudspeakers in green autos on the world's roads. Matter becomes so thick, senses so sunk in chickens and insulation. Love ain't gonna die, I'm gonna have to kill it, God cries to himself. Christ merging with Krishna in car crash salvation. Turn corner to Pullman in green void. Field spread flaming to the horizon. Lone gray house sat under vast clouds on wheat land. And 'tis Frank Sinatra owns the Seattle, Portland, and Spokane three-bopper Trine Airwaves. Some peas, 2 crops a year, windmills, giant farms, Chinese in Kashmir. Millions of green lines scratched on the waving hill. And down the highway, rolling past Washtuckna's grain bins on the green butte, sheep in the rolling valley grazing on the railroad embankment. Prosecutor John Howard called Sirhan a cold-blooded political assassin with, quote, no special claim to further preservation, unquote. Mao re-elected Chinese premier, where Mullen Road meets Highway 26 by 2 giant sycamores approaching Hooper. Has anyone here any special claim to further preservation? These sheep peacefully grazing through springtime by Cow Creek, American yellow light where the lambs are quiet. Even Jesus Christ couldn't have saved me. Magpie, meadowlark, rainbow, spectrum, apparitions shafted transparent down from gray clouds. Dogs see black and white, a complete half rainbow, hill to hill across the highway, pots of gold in the fields anchoring the pretty bridge, tumbleweed passing underneath. Heaviest B-52 raids hit enemies. Howard Marquette, George Washington U, sit in. Saigon, AP. U.S. B-52 bombers made their heaviest raids of the Vietnam War last night near the Cambodian border, dropping more than 2,000 tons of bombs along a 30-mile stretch northwest of Saigon. The U.S. Command reported. They are harassing enemy troops so as not to let them get organized. An American spokesman said. Black students staging protests, Whitworth picketed. Hail on the new plowed brown hilltops. Black rain clouds and rainbows down over Albion Way. Drive down the valley along Main Street. Pullman branch, Seattle First National Motor Banking next to Everybody's Bank. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you like that. I guess that's impolite. I mean, I didn't mean to get my ego in between that city. Continuation of a long poem on these dates that is from Northwest to we're in the great place, the stable place, Beulah, man wedded to earth, the planet of green grass, tiny atomic wheels spin shining and worlds change, heavens turn inside out, the planet is reborn in ashes, sunlight sparkle over atomic cinder, plants levitate. Green moss precedes trees trembling sentience under blue skies. Stones eat sunlight with invisible mouths, and flowers are the rock's excrement. Each million years that passes, atoms spin myriad reversals. Worlds within worlds interchange populations. From worms to man's a tiny jump. From earth to earth, souls are born over forgetful. Populations eat their own meat. Roses smell sweet in the feces of horses risen red-faced. Consciousness changes every night. Dreams flower their universes in brainy skulls. Lying in bed, body darkened, ear of the run of the buck roar, only the eye, flickering grass green, returns me to Nashville.
Reciting some poetry to me that he'd written. I saw that he was about a step away from dying. I couldn't help but wonder why. I have to say he's no longer John and Jane helped show me how to do. It was wintertime in Nashville.
45,000 people died. Many of these Democrats are joining us. This is fine. We need them to draw the curtain on this final act of the war. We need these Democrats. But they cannot prove their sincerity by joining us here today. It's after the war is over. How they act to prevent the next one. That is what will prove their The Honorable Peter N. Harris, Congressman from the 4th Congressional District. I'm of course delighted to be here, primarily to favor his children this morning with beautiful weather. But I'm also pleased to be here to see such an attentive audience on a subject that has accommodated and taken up the interest and resources of all of us for so long a time. I see this day a little differently, perhaps, than some of the speakers up here this morning, although we all have the same goal. I see this almost as a Thanksgiving, and we thank God for his bounty, as a Memorial Day, when we worship our dead, but even more important, as a day when Americans throughout the nation indicate to the President that we all want to stop this war. I'm always pleased and proud and lucky to be here with my own Maine people, talking and listening to you. So let's talk about the war. The American soldier is going to lose his life paying for a conservative who can't face the reality that this is an absurd war and this is an absurd last act of this war. What are we going to gain by a slow withdrawal? Is the South Vietnamese government going to increase their base? Are they going to bring us to go to the people in? They've had 8 years to do it, and they haven't done it, and they're showing no indications that they're going to do it. Is the North Vietnamese Army, the North Vietnamese government, or the Viet Cong, or the National Liberation Front, who've held the same position for 20 years, suddenly going to change because we turn our lights on, because we shut our mouths, or because we let the president drag the war on for several more years? Is this going to change? All this can be done with discussion, without radicalization, with no need to rip our country or society apart. There is no instant 24-hour withdrawal from Vietnam. That this is not a day in which we speak against our president. We have only one president at a time.
Mr. Nixon is getting out of Vietnam because he has seen what Vietnam did to one other president, and he is not going to have the same thing happen to him.
Because it is not the Pax Americana, the peace of Americans that will sustain us throughout the world. What will sustain us, however, is the kind of enthusiasm, the kind of a commitment that these young people show here today. If we ship them throughout the world, and they take their exciting revolution with them to show people how to lead a better life, that's the best thing the United States can export, not arms or force. Power! Yes, soldier! Give it to us! Give it to power! I say we can unify America. We can unify America to that great, shining, illusion all hell of this country. As a country where from the sun-kissed shores of Maine out to Hawaii, 200 million people strong, is the finest country in the world and the last best hope man has on earth.
Cliff and David and Esther and Fiona and Clark and Irene and Rosie and Catherine and Larry and Molly and Norman and Olaf and Phil and Quentin and Ralph and Steve and Tom and Ursula and Vince and Warren and Zena and Yvonne and Z. So let's...
The eating of my soul.
Farm arrived for an unaccompanied piano.
Sweat not a changed my style. 20 long years. This not tomorrow. Teaching up the steam without rest.
Some decisions I cannot make, but must merely recommend to the board. Such a decision would be to totally close this university. I could not make that decision alone. I will open the faculty meeting, but I have a communication, a resolution of the Student Senate. It reads as follows. As teachers and students, we are concerned with the maintenance of the rational process in the academic community. The present situation in the country and on the campus, however, threatens the democratic and educational process with irrational acts. We therefore recommend the adoption by the faculty of the following two statements. One, we strongly disapprove of President Nixon's unilateral extension of the Vietnam War into Cambodia for its divisive consequences at home. Two, in the light of the emotional drain upon the functioning of the educational process following the recent actions by our government in Cambodia, we support the voluntary cessation of classes by the student or the professor in accordance with his conscience and without penalty for the next 2 weeks. In either case, the professor will remain available in the classroom for consultation, and finals will be taken. But we request that the administration recognize this strike as a valid excuse for missing academic responsibilities.
I would suggest
that we get along with the business at hand today, at this moment, which many of us are involved in, and that is in education and academics. It doesn't mean that if we do this that we are expressing our approval of our government's action, and it should be separated.
I would urge us to keep this university open as a symbol of the values that we all are talking about.
I don't think that we gain a thing by jeopardizing the bond issue in our student union. I find it difficult to find anything in the faculty handbook that suggests that we should take a position on a political issue.
And I believe that the time has come when the faculty might dare to extend itself a little bit beyond the provisions of the faculty handbook.
In this issue, it is not taking a political stand against Cambodia. It is taking a very positive stand that we respect our students and our student-teacher relationships.
I think the second point we can vote on, if in fact we want to allow a holiday.
I don't think that should we vote for the resolutions, that we would be voting for a holiday. That's the furthest thing, I think, from anybody's mind. Certainly, I'm sure it was not at all what the students had in mind.
But we have business at hand to do, and I would suggest that we get about doing this business. If people do not want to attend classes, I believe they have a perfect right not to attend classes. They take the responsibility upon themselves. And I would personally hope that no professor or instructor or anybody else would be vindictive about absences. But let's have business proceed as usual from now until the end of the year.
Does there come a time in a society where people have got to stop doing what they ordinarily do, however important, and try to think together and act together in some kind of responsible way to see whether it's possible to change the dangerous direction in which this society is going?
You cannot really refuse to take a stand. Not to take a stand is to take a stand.
I believe that there is nothing that better serves the forces that most of us in this room oppose than the closing or suspension of the universities at this time.
And it seems to me that this whole issue of faith between faculty and students is clearly shown at Kent State, whereby it seems apparent that the administration of the faculty opened the doors to this violence. And I wouldn't like to be a party to that murder on this campus.
I'm more and more now towards favoring the resolution, because we are really in trouble. Deep, deep trouble. In a university, as in all formal organizations today, is that we are all so caught up, invariably, in our specialized rational functions.
I think that some immediate things that we as faculty have to consider is the impending bond issue.
There is also the June 15th bond issue. We might well jeopardize the bond issue.
Maine voters have again scuttled the capital improvements bond issue for the University of Maine's 10 campuses. Monday's voting was the second time in 7 months.
University Day is not a very popular institution.
La convenzione
start now. Remember, some of the first blues are I remember hearing Pete Lewis, Jimmy Nolan, and Del Brown. They were fine bluesmen. And of course, the great B.B. King.
Buy your rum and rye, high beneath below. Don't wanna be left high and dry, high beneath below.
Well, here we are again with another program of fine music.
A couple of years back, I come across a great wasted friend of mine.
As performed by members of the Freshman 4-H Club Symphonic Society.
Minds and oceans, and I've just about covered it all.
No.